Hey, what's happening? Paul Ingram here with College Center. In today's training, we're going to be taking a look at some footwork drills. One of the main questions that I've been getting a lot lately is, hey, Paul, can you show some of the basic footwork, the fundamental footworks in Filipino martial arts? We notice that whenever you're doing your drills or when you're doing your carenza or when you're training with Tom and Ali and all these guys, there's a lot of footwork that is going on. And I'm going to go ahead and do that in this video right here. So one of the things that we like to do is to map out our footwork. A couple of different ways that you can do that to make sure that you are applying your footwork with good precision and good accuracy of your steps. You can either A, grab 2 sticks, which is the more kind of common way. If you're training on a solid surface like a sidewalk or a garage floor or something like that, you can use chalk to chalk out the footwork lines, the different shapes and things. And if you're training on something like carpet, then you can head over to like your local hardware store or where you can get some of that blue masking tape, like the painter's tape, and you can go and put that on your carpet, and when you peel it off, it won't leave any like weird, residues or anything like that. Okay, or you can just simply grab 2 sticks and use some sticks. All right, so let's go ahead and jump on into it. Couple different basic drills to get your footwork moving. All right, so let's go ahead and start off kind of in the beginning of it when we're looking at some of these different angles. The way that we train Kali here at College Center is that we look at our footwork basically in 3 different kind of categories of our footwork. We have what's called the segmented footwork, which is your linear footwork, right? This is where you're going to be working on a particular linear line. Then we also have our triangle footwork. This is where you're going to commonly see like these reverse triangles and the forward triangles, right? And all these different types of shapes and letters and things. And then we also have what is called our circling footwork as well, where now we're maneuvering around a circle. So let's kind of just start off with what is the most kind of common footwork that you're going to see across different styles of Filipino martial arts, because different styles are going to focus on different things. Most Filipino martial arts that I have trained in all cover these basics, which is our basic triangle footwork. So let's go ahead and grab our sticks, put them on the ground right in front of us right here. We're going to have the apex of the triangle facing us, and then the base of the triangle facing away from us. And this is what's referred to as the reverse triangle. Some styles you'll hear this known as the female triangle. So here at College Center, we just call this the reverse triangle. Now there are tactics to why you would use a reverse triangle, but right now, just for today's video, I want to get you moving on it. And if you want to start learning the tactics and how to actually apply the footwork and what they're really for and all that, then head over to collegecenter.com and grab our Kali Apex, our basic training course, and it's going to explain all of that stuff. And we take you through a whole bunch of different footworks and how to strike with your footwork and calibrate your strikes with your feet and all that stuff. And then we go into the tactical applications of everything. So from right here, we're going to start off with our feet just in the basic position right here. Okay? Now we could do all of this in our fighting position and our fencing position, but for right now we just kind of start off nice and very simple. So we want to make sure that we are stepping on the angle. My left foot is going to step to the left. So I'm going to step to the left, and the main thing here is that I want to make sure that my torso is also facing the same angle that I'm stepping. So I don't want to leave my torso facing the center like this. I want to get everything to go with it, okay? Because we're just coming off of the line. We're coming off of the center line, or off 0 degrees off that line of pressure. So from here, we're going to step out, and then we're going to bring this rear foot up with it, okay? Now, a lot of times in Kali, you might hear us say, especially here at Kali Center and different styles, you might hear us say, like, bring your feet together. And a lot of times people mistake that as it always means that your feet are going to touch. Sometimes your feet do touch. And the reason why we do that is because when your feet are apart, you do not have the ability to move a full range of motion, right? A full ranging step. Okay, this is what you're limited to. And when you have weapons that are coming at you very quickly with a lot of pressure, a lot of force, and a lot of risk behind that, getting hit by one, you want your footwork to be able to take up as much ground, as much range as possible sometimes. So this is where you'll see when the feet are very close together, now I can take a full stride step forward, back, or on any of the angles. But if I'm caught with my feet apart, I can't move forward and back at a full range pace. So that's where you're going to hear us sometimes, you know, or when you're watching, you might see those feet kind of come real close together. Sometimes they might even touch. But there's a variance in here. We call this the percentages of footwork. Sometimes as we step up, this rear foot is going to not travel at all. So we call that 0%. Sometimes it's going to travel 25% or 50% or 100%. So there's different percentage variables in the footwork, and that's all going to be based on the situation at the exact moment. What do you need? What kind of athleticism do you need to be able to measure the exact range that you need to either A, be able to apply your attack, or B, be able to protect yourself? So from here, we're just start off with the basic. We're going to go all the way up. So I'm going to step left 45 with my left foot, and then my right foot is going to travel behind it. My right foot's then going to come back to the point, and then my left foot's going to step at the point. Once my left foot makes contact to the ground, you're going to see how my right foot's already, it's ready to go to the right 45 degrees. So then I step to the right, left foot travels up, and then we repeat. We step it back and repeat. So we have 1, 2, and 3. We have 1, 2, 3 right here. Now, start this nice and slow. Once you have the basic of this, then you can start playing with the percentages. All right, here I'm going into my 50%. Okay, so I'm traveling this leg up 50%. I might go 25%. Okay. I might go 0, which is a little bit more of like a ranging angle. Okay, and we go back into the 100. Back into the 50. Okay, maybe a little 0, maybe a 50 on this side, back to 100 over here. So you want to make sure you're training this to a point where you're starting to pick up some speed, you're starting to build some of that agility, being able to move to the left, being able to move to the right, and you're also building that balance. Okay? And you want to start getting this to the point where you can start building that explosiveness, where you can quickly move left and or right. Very, very important. This is the basic on the reverse triangle footwork right here. This is the open triangle. We also have the closed triangle where we're going to step all the way now. Then the right foot's going to step across the base, followed by the left, and then drop it back down. And we're basically just going around the triangle. We're making a triangle with our feet. Now, in order to make a triangle with our feet, this is where, you know, you're going to hear again, Kali, we talk about bringing our feet together. Because you have to get your feet to travel together in order to actually make a triangle with your feet. Okay? Again, if I don't, I'm not making a triangle with my feet. Okay? And I'm not going anywhere. You're going to see how my torso is just hovering over 0 degrees. Right? It's not going anywhere. So you're never getting out of the line of fire. You're never getting out of the line of pressure, the line of danger. So when you move, you're going to see how my shoulders are shifting off of that line. This is why it's very important that we're turning that torso. If I don't turn the torso, you're going to see how now my shoulder, my right shoulder is stuck in the center line. Okay? And then my left shoulder, right? Or if I go the other way, if I don't turn my torso, you're going to see how my left shoulder is stuck in that center line. So if I turn it, you can see how much that shoulder comes out of that center line, out of that line of fire, if my opponent is striking at me. Boom, boom. So now you're going to see how I'm actually moving my body no matter which way I'm going. Boom. Here. Bop. Bop. Right there. Okay, so it's very important that we're able to maneuver just like this with the triangle footwork. So we are gaining the maximum amount of protection for our body, because in Kali, I know a lot of people are asking about what kind of blocks do you use against your opponent's attack. Blocks are so passive, you guys. You could be maneuvering, focusing on developing your footwork, and as that attack is coming in, you can get off that line, and instead of blocking the weapon, which really doesn't do anything to your opponent, you can focus on the targets and start taking the hand. Right? And now you can start really neutralizing the weapon and working your counterattacks instead of working your defensive blocks, if that makes any sense to you guys. So this is why footwork is really, really important, because even if you block, you guys, you'll see that we have all kinds of these interesting, different types of tactics and techniques that if I see my my opponent, if I see Tom or Ollie going up for a block, right, then we have this thing that's called freeing the blade, and we go around that block and we just continue our attack. So the blocking really becomes kind of a thing of the past, especially as you are advancing in your Kali skills. Another very common footwork, very important footwork across Filipino martial arts that you're going to see across different styles and systems is the forward triangle. Also, some styles would call this the Mao triangle. The forward triangle is an attacking triangle, and you're going to see that now the apex is kind of up ahead of us, and we're standing a little bit more closer to the base. Okay, now this is how this triangle is actually used. Sometimes you'll see people training it where they're standing at the apex and they're stepping backwards. It is a forward triangle. It is a Mao triangle, but it's more of like the ranging angle than more of the evasive angles. But here at Kali Center, when we talk about the forward triangle, we are talking about 100% pure offense. So for this triangle, we're going to go ahead and start at, we'll just start at the left corner of the base. You can do this on either side. It really doesn't matter, because you're going to work both sides anyways. But from here, we're going to start off right here at the left corner of the base. Our right foot, we're going to step into the apex of the triangle. Now, it's different than the reverse triangle. On the reverse triangle, we turned the torso, and we made sure that the torso was facing the same angle that we were stepping. In the forward triangle, the mechanic is different. We're going to be stepping in, leading with the shoulder, and we're going to be turning into that triangle just like this. And then as my right foot steps out to the right side of the base, then my left shoulder is leading on the way out. So there's a torso rotation in the forward triangle right here. So again, if I'm starting off with on the right side of the base, my left foot is forward, I'm stepping in with the left foot and out with the left foot. I'm stepping in with the right and then out with the right. So you're gonna see how there's that little replacement step right here at the apex. Right foot comes in, left foot travels up, right foot comes out, left foot travels back. Left foot comes in, right foot travels up, left foot comes out, right foot travels out. All right, and we can start working this nice and easy. Now, another important detail here on the forward triangle, especially on the forward triangle, because we are kind of more so controlling our momentum than riding our momentum right now in this drill. We want to make sure that we are landing more on the ball of the foot. So we're landing on the ball of the toes here, and then we're coming out. We're not landing on the heel here. If we were going to continue the same line, then it kind of depends on the situation. If we need to kind of more control that momentum, or if we're going to really ride that momentum to really force more driving through our opponent. Or if our opponent is trying to get away and they're trying to open up the range, then we might go more heel to toe so we can really follow through and drive behind that momentum that's generated. But if our opponent is kind of more sticking their ground, then we need to make sure we can control that momentum. So we're going to make contact, ball of the toes, and then the heel, so that way you can kind of more so control your pacing and not let your momentum carry you all the way forward. So because we're changing the directions on this particular drill, we want to make sure we're controlling that momentum. So we're going to land toes to heel. So ball of the foot lands, makes contact to the ground first, okay? And then we're out. So just work this out, okay? And just kind of pay attention to what you're doing with your feet. Kind of just like the percentage that we had on the reverse triangle, we can also do that with the forward triangle. So sometimes I need to go all the way up. This foot needs to travel all the way up. Sometimes it's going to just go 50%, right? I might just travel a little bit here. I might just travel a little bit. Sometimes it's just going to go 25% and then I got to get out. 25% and then I got to get out. So the triangle kind of changes degree a little bit when that happens. Okay? We can also do the same thing with our back foot. So my back foot might come out just a little bit. I might come up, Back foot went 50%, and then I shot it out. Now, it's a little bit more tricky on the forward triangle. It's a little bit more of an intermediate skill, because when you start off with the 100%, meaning your feet are coming closer together, you know the exact line to come back out on. When you're starting to travel 50%, okay, then you have to know the angle to get yourself back out to the corner of that base right there. You don't want to, you know, come back here where now you're back in the center line. Okay, so you got to open that up a little bit more, so it's a little bit more of a geometry game right there. But it's something that you can play with. You know, it doesn't take too much. You know, it's just something that takes awareness. So a little bit of observation training in the beginning to be aware of where your angles are at, and then that awareness so that you never forget where they are. Just like the reverse triangle, on the forward triangle, we also can close the triangle where we're adding in the base line. So we're gonna step in to the point, step it out, and then stepping across the base. So we can work this out going clockwise around the triangle. Okay, and we can work it out going counterclockwise around the triangle. Boom. So we want to make sure that we can maneuver both ways. Now there are applications to the closed variations of both of these triangles. There are applications there. Okay, there's many different applications as far as the open versions of the reverse and forward triangle. In this training, in this video today, I just want to focus on the physical training so that way you can start building that coordination. If you want to get the application, if you want to understand how to actually use these triangles and how they work with the striking, go over to colliecenter.com and go grab our Collie Apex training. And jump into our Apex members over on our Patreon page, and then we can really take your training from beginner to intermediate all the way up into advanced, because you can take advantage of our one-on-one video coaching, our live video coaching, and you know, our live stream classes and all kinds of things, you know, our Q&As and everything that we have over on our Apex. It's an amazing training experience, especially long distance training experience. If you don't have a Collie school or a Collie teacher in your area, Collie Apex is the next best thing. All right, so practice these footworks, the reverse triangle and the forward triangle. You know, you can have that as a good warm up and cool down to your primary Collie workout. All right, thanks so much for hanging out with me today and getting some training in. That footwork, it is the most important skill when it comes to Collie. Again, these things move so fast and there's so much range on these weapons, you know, especially when you start moving into like the spear and the staff, that the footwork is absolutely critical. It's critical in the empty hands as well, and it's super critical when you're looking at, you know, the blade aspects or even the impact weapon aspects, because even though this is just a piece of rattan, this thing can still, you know, it can break bones, it can remove an eye, it can do some serious damage, you know, just this simple piece of vine right here. So make sure that you are spending time on your footwork. In our Collie classes, all across our different chapters, every time you come and train with me at a training camp, a seminar, we always begin every single session with footwork. Okay? And you're going to be doing footwork the entire class. So even if we're doing our drills and whatever it is that we're doing, there's going to be footwork that's, you know, incorporated with all of the weapon movement. All right, guys, I will catch you back here in the next video. If you want to continue your training with us, head over to colliecenter.com, go grab the Collie Apex course, check out our Patreon, and jump into our continued training that we have that's very exclusive over there on our Patreon. You can also become a sponsor of the channel here so that we can get more exclusive videos here on the YouTube channel. Just click the join button right below this video and you can check that on out. And I'll see you guys next time. Get outside and make nature your Collie dojo.